It's there! Holy moly, this one's going to go big.
Right, before this one starts, folks, my apologies. The audio in a couple of sections isn't going to be balanced correctly. It's my fault I didn't split out the microphone and everything else into 2 tracks in Bandicam, and I've ended up with 1 audio track on the video. That means that I can't do my usual balancing and fading in and out at the correct times. For the vast majority of the video, it doesn't matter because there's no other audio there apart from me waffling. However, there are some sections where there's some gameplay going on, and that's going to be too loud. I have no way of fixing this now because I only have a single audio track. So I just want to give you a heads up of that ahead of time. It's not how I would normally do it, but I can't fix this now because I only have the 1 track. Some people may think that's an improvement because you can't hear me so well because you've got other stuff going on, but it's not how I would normally do it. My apologies for that. I will double check that I've got those settings right for the next video that I make. But for now, on this one, I'm just going to have to go with what I've got. So do be aware that where the sort of other stuff that's going on is clearly too loud, that's not deliberate on my part. It's just that I now can't fix it with what I actually have to work with, so my apologies for that. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Back in July, I uploaded this video here, which was Destroyed in the Pub. Time to throw in the towel when I lost £300 in 24 minutes playing the fucking abominable piss-take machines that are all over the pubs and have been for many, many years. We went down the digicab route a long time ago. The UK finally caught up with the death of the traditional fruit machine. And of course, you have the £100 digicabs now in the pubs, which were £1 ago. We have the proper big boys, £500 jackpot, £2 ago. This kicking here was it for me. I said after that video, I'm not playing them again. In fact, that was the conclusion of that video. I'm not doing this again. Well, I have stuck to that. We have been to the pub 3 times since then, and I haven't played the machines again. We've had, there's the Isle of Man, dear old Isle of Man. We've had one day out in Peel, which was at the Peveril there. That was that pub that you've probably seen on the channel before if you watch these gambling related videos. We spent the whole session in there in the sort of nice, cozy, snug bar side, but because we were in there for hours and hours, you have to sort of walk through there to get to the toilets here, and you can see into like the pool and lounge area there, so you can see the machines as you walk through. I did see them getting played. There was one guy in particular who I went for a piss at one point, and he was playing the machines. Went back to through here, and then the next time I went for a piss, so I don't know, probably an hour later or whatever, he was still playing the machines, and he looked pretty unhappy. He had that look of a guy who was doing his plums. I'm sure you all know that kind of the way that you carry yourself, not just the look on your face, but your whole body language when you're absolutely getting fucked by a machine. And he had that look about him. I did not touch them, didn't put a penny in them. Now, the next session out that we had was in, and this was a little bit of a strange one. We haven't done it before, but it actually worked very well. Was in Sulby here, because one of the guys lives in Sulby. So what we're doing is alternating between Peel, Sulby and Ramsey now, because of the 3 of us. One lives in Peel, one lives in Sulby, and one lives in Ramsey. So we went to here, the Ginger Hall, because the guy who lives in Sulby says, you know what, the Ginger's a really nice pub. We could probably do the whole thing in there. And that is actually what we did. We had the whole session in the Ginger Hall. I think we've got some there's some more recent pictures. As you can see, it's a big place. It's actually on the TT course. This is the TT circuit. The bikes come this way as they're going through to Ramsey. Just over there is the Sulby Straight. On the Sulby Straight, bikes have been clocked at over 200 miles an hour. And in fact, I mean, let's leverage technology here. So This is part of the TT racing course, and if you come out round this corner here, in fact, you can see they've actually got the road dressings out for if anyone overruns coming at the end of the Sulby Straight. But that there, that's quite a long, in fact, if we go back here, can you see that there is the Sulby Straight, and down there they have clocked bikes in excess of 200 miles an hour. But we went to the Ginger Hall. It was fantastic. If you ever find yourself on the... God, that's going really slow, isn't it? There we are. Yeah, so if you ever find yourself on the Isle of Man, I would suggest you try and make a point of stopping off there. It's a really nice pub. They have a whole restaurant area at the back. And for our food, they let us eat in the pool room because we'd had enough beer. And we went to order food, and they said, oh, no, you just stay in there. We'll bring it through to you. That's fine. So we ate in the pool room as well. Now, they have 3 machines in there. I do have pictures of them. So there's one of them. That's in the pool room. And there's another 2 that are out in the sort of entranceway there. That there is actually... See that door? You see that door there? The front door where it says dining room entrance? That is actually that door there as you come in. So they've got 2 machines in like the hallway with the jukebox. The sort of pool room is behind you. That's where we were. And they've got another game in the pool room there. I had a look at them. I fired them up to have a look at what they had on in terms of games. They had this club machine there, which as you can see, I took a picture of that. That was on 78%. And there was one of the games that I found, one of the random games on there. You can see their category B4 game. This game is random. You're paying £2 a go on that to get 90%. And if you go down to 25p, you get 84%. That is just abominably bad on a random game. But even on the top stake at £2 a go, you get 90%. So we spent the whole session in there. We were in there for hours and hours and hours. We played pool, put music on the jukebox. We had a lot of chatting, got food in there at the end of the evening. And what I had decided to do in advance, I thought to myself, you know what? Sulby to Ramsey, that is walkable. It's basically 5 miles. So there's Sulby, there's the Ginger Hall. And basically you walk down this yellow road that you can see here, or the yellow highlighted road, is the TT course, and that takes you all the way back to Ramsey, where I live. And I thought, you know what, I can walk that. So on the back end of a big beer session and a tummy full of food, I walked 5 miles back to Ramsey. It went fine. It took me about an hour. It would have probably taken me a bit less time, but I was faffing about sending stupid messages on WhatsApp.
Everything's fine. It's cool. Of all the great ideas I've ever had, this is definitely one of the best of them. Let me just put my little torch down. Ooh. It'll be fine. I think I'll be home in about an hour or so. If I stop fucking yapping and start fucking walking, nothing can go wrong with this.
But again, no gambling. I didn't put any money in the machines. And then most recently, we had a session out in Ramsey. That was about, I think 3 weeks ago. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago as I record this? We had a session out in Ramsey. We went to the Swan. We went to the Central. And we then walked down the lane to the Mitre. So 3 pubs, and I didn't play any of the machines. I did have a look at them, though, because in the Central here, they have replaced the iPub 2 cab with a very, well, certainly fancy by Isle of Man standards, to the point that I just took a little video of it, which I'll show you. So here you go. This probably isn't too fancy by UK terms, but I haven't seen one like this. Can you see they've got 2 big screens at the top? They're lovely, lovely screens. But this thing here, can you see? That's like a screen that you can control it with there. So that there is actually a touch screen. As you can see, like, I have not seen this before. This says to me, like, these things clearly make money because these things here as pieces of kit, for it to be worth their while to have these things out on site, they must be doing all right cash-wise. What you can see, it didn't make any difference to the RTP.
you were still maxing out at 92%. Well, that is a very luscious cabinet, isn't it? And then we finished off in the Mitre. It was actually really busy in the Mitre. It was nice to see a busy pub. There were a good number of people in there. It's a big place, the Mitre, so we were able to get a table. But like I say, it's because so many pubs closing and you hear that the hospitality trade is really struggling. So it was actually nice to see a good number of people out for the evening and out at the pub together. There are 4 machines in there. You've seen footage from inside the Mitre before. In fact, that there was actually filmed in the Mitre. That was me playing in the Mitre. That was where I did my plums to the tune of 300 quid in 24 minutes. The numbers never get any less ridiculous the more often I say them. What I noticed in there, by the way, was that the machines were getting played. We weren't sat close to them, and I wasn't like, not that you can shark random machines, but I wasn't paying much attention. I was sat having a conversation, but I did cast my eye over. Periodically, I cast my eye over. And of the 4 machines that were in there, there was always like 2 of them being played. At one point, there was 3 out of the 4 being played whilst we were in there. And I've got to say, the people who were playing them did not look very happy. It's like, gambling should be fun. It didn't look like anyone was having any fun to me. Same in the Peveril there. The guy who was playing in the Peveril, and he must have been doing his plums because he'd been on there for an hour and he looked absolutely miserable. He certainly wasn't having fun. And over in the Ginger, they didn't really get played. There was only one guy played one of the machines for a short period. He literally looked like he maybe put 20 quid in, lost and just walked away. But definitely there was a guy there having a bad time. And a couple of the people who were in there playing, they didn't look like they were having a great time either. And I know how that feels because that was me not that long ago. At the end of that there, I mean, it was a ridiculous amount of money, isn't it? 300 quid. You can see there that the video is not even 25 minutes long, including the intro. And that's 300 quid gone. It's absolutely preposterous. That is one of the machines that was being played when we were in there the other night. So what I found there after 3 sessions out at the pub and not playing the machines at all, not doing any gambling, I'm as happy as ever that was the right decision to stop playing. I do not miss them. And what I've found is that when I'm looking at the help screens and seeing absolute piss takes like you're going to get 90% on £2 a go, the only thing that slightly baffles me at this point is that it took me so long to actually reach the sensible conclusion, which is to bin the fucking things off. Because they are they're not entertaining, really. You have to go in at £2 a spin, which is not a comfortable stake for me. And yes, you can sometimes get a little run and you can win on them, of course, but the misery far outweighs any kind of inverted commas fun or entertainment that you can get out of them. So the follow on from that video there, because that was back in July, we're now coming towards the end of December. I've been to the pub 3 times and I haven't played the machines at all. And I am comfortable in myself now that I am done with them and I won't be putting another penny in the bloody things because they are just a waste of money. However, I have carried on playing online because for all of that, the truth of the matter is that I can still enjoy a little bit of a gamble, but that there is an abomination. That form of gambling is disgusting and I do not think should be legal in pubs. And on the bloody help screen it says don't play these things under the influence of alcohol, and they stuff all the pubs with them here. So I mean, what does that tell you? However, there are still ways that you can have a little bit of a gamble, have a bit of, dare I say, entertainment with it, but not go stupid in terms of spending huge amounts of money, because 300 quid in 24 minutes, no, never happening again. So what I've lent into is, I'll just show you, I have been playing quite a lot at 3 Dice recently. Now look, I am in no way affiliated with 3 Dice. I'm not shilling for them. I'm not on any kind of kickback or anything like that. I have just settled down with this place as being a decent online casino to play at. I've had an account at 3 Dice since 2012, so 13 years. And in 13 years,
They have never ever dicked me about on anything, never had a problem with a withdrawal, never had any sort of account problems. They have 24/7 live support. You can actually raise a real-time conversation with a real human being, not a fucking bot or the abstraction of awful customer service. They also have a support email address that you can email queries or questions to. I've done that over the years for various things, asking about stats on my account or game information, and they're generally very forthcoming with that information as well. The other thing that they do is they have actual bonuses as well. Now, the bonus system on online casinos has kind of gone away over the years. I used to get offered bonuses quite a lot at video slots, and at one point that they just stopped completely. They just stopped sending me bonus offers, and when bonuses are made available at online casinos, they very often have ludicrous wagering requirement. So it's like you might deposit £100 and get a £100 bonus, but then your wagering requirement is some bullshit like 50 times the bonus, so you've got to wager £5,000 before you can withdraw anything. Now, they changed the rules in the UK so that you can't have your deposit locked behind the bonus, but that meant that it made it very difficult for casinos to offer bonuses, so a lot of them just kind of went away, really. At 3 Dice, because of where they operate out of, they don't have to follow the sort of UK GC rules. They can do what they want in terms of bonuses, so you can see there that just in the last week I've had 2 bonus offers. You've got a 100% match because they released a new slot called Pinata Party. And then they sent a Christmas bonus out as well for all members, got a Christmas bonus. Both of those were a 100% match up to £100 on a 10 times deposit plus bonus wagering requirement. So that meant that for a £100 deposit, I got £200 balance, and I only had to wager £2,000 to then unlock the full balance of whatever was left. What this means is that you get a sort of decent amount of inverted commas free money to play with. So when you're playing random games with a house edge, of course, you're always going to ultimately lose slowly over time. So what bonuses do is they effectively bolster your bankroll and give you extra play, and they take some of the edge off the house edge and give you can think of them as a way of extending your play time and giving you more time to win, albeit with the caveat that you're locked behind that wagering requirement. 10 times deposit plus bonus on a 100% match is the same as 20 times bonus, and if you actually work out the sums on a 95% RTP game, if you get perfect RTP after you've wagered £2,000 or 20 times your bonus, you would expect to actually have your original £100 left. So they're kind of EV neutral. Those bonuses there that 3 Dice gave to me, I would expect at the end of it to get my money back. So with a bit of good luck, I'm going to win. With a bit of bad luck, I'm going to lose. On average luck, I will lose the bonus and get my deposit back. So at the base level there, it's kind of like a set, dare I, not quite free because you've got to make the deposit, but your expected results is to get your money back, so you only need a bit of good luck to be left with a profit by the time you've wagered the bonus wagering requirements. And on top of that, they have VIP match offers. They've got other bonuses that you get. The point is that you don't have to just straight deposit all the time. That was where I fell out with video slots. I did that video earlier in the year about those realistic games where they've got the bar X stuff and all that kind of thing. I played those for a bit, but in the end, of course, you're going to lose it. A 96% game on a random slot is going to take your money eventually. I had a couple of bad beats on 2 £100 deposits, and with no bonuses left now at video slots to ever take the edge off, I just, you know what, I didn't make a conscious decision to do it, but I haven't deposited at video slots for months now because I just got a little bit fed up with it. What that means in practical terms is that the only gambling that I'm doing now, and have been for months, I binned the pubs off back in July. I binned off video slots probably about 4 months ago. Not long after I uploaded that video, actually. So the only gambling left that I'm doing now is at 3 Dice. And what I had set myself, the the challenge of doing, because once you've got your head around the fact that ultimately you're going to always lose your money in the end, I decided to set myself like a long-term challenge. And the one that I went for, it was this game here called Dice Fusion. Now, when 3 Dice release a new slot, I sometimes write a review up for it over at Casino Meister. And you can see there, hang on, we'll just go to the games, video slots. This fella here, can you see? Dice Fusion. I'll load it in for you. This is actually, this is live on the casino. This is real money. That's a real money balance that you can see there now. I am currently working my way through one of those bonuses. I've still got the wagering to do. So this game was released back in December 2022. There's a whole thread about it over at Casino Meister there. I got off to a very bad start on it. It's basically a clone, by the way, of Reactoons. 3 Dice have essentially cloned Reactoons. I got off to a very bad start with it and kind of hated it. But somehow, at one point, the turning point was here. Just over a year ago, in November 2024, I became determined to get what was thought to be the top win on this game, which is just over 3,000 times bet. Now, if you don't know how this game works, what I will do is, let's just have a little go with some real money here. There we are. It's basically Reactoon. So what you're looking at here, let me just explain. These are real money game rounds here. What you're looking at here is a ball out of the bag game. Every single time this game takes 20p off me, what it's doing, so you can see that with the balance down at the bottom there. So just now, when it drops down like that, what you are looking at now is a pre-scripted sequence. What the game has done on the back end, my client has said to the 3 Dice server, I want a game round result, please. The 3 Dice server has gone into its bag of balls with however many results this game has got. 10 million, 25 million, 50 million, whatever it may be. The 3 Dice server has gone into its bag of balls, picked a ball out, thrown that back at my client and said, here you go, display this. And this is the sequence that you are seeing now. But all that's happened really on the back end, remember the row on the spreadsheet analogy that I used for one of the videos I made a couple of months ago, where it just gets a result and then shows you like a sound and light show to represent that result. So at the very second that the server pulls that result out of the bag of balls, the end result of the round is known. Everything that you're seeing here is just something to keep me, the player, entertained rather than just throwing up a number on the screen. So let's do it manually here. So when I press this start button here, can you see? I'm going to press this start button and I'm going to pick a ball out of the bag. That was nothing. So that's just the row on the spreadsheet had nothing next to it. You got fuck all. And you can, I'm on a 20p spin here because that's where I'm comfortable with. But you can increase that quite substantially if you want to. So you can have a look there. I mean, there's what you would play in the pubs, which is the £2 spin. Remember, you'd have to play £2 spins in the pub to get 90% on some games now. But you can see there, you can do some I mean, oh my God, that's the maximum bet. £50 a spin. We won't be doing that. So there, thank you very much. I'll be playing on my little 20p spins. But if you're a high roller, that's available. I'll just double check that. I don't want to do a fucking £50 spin, do I? So again, all we're doing, and that's a 0. The server pulled its row off the spreadsheet and said that's a 0. That's a 0 as well. Now, we've actually got a little bit of a reaction going on. Now, the way this works is it's a cluster game. So what you have to do is you have to get 5 symbols that match, that make a sort of cluster going up, down, left or right. Diagonals don't count. And if you fill this bar up at the top, can you see there, this bar? Every time you get a reaction, see the bar under the 3 Dice name, Dice Fusion name up there? There, and that one petered out. So let's just do it again. So if you have a look at that bar, see that's going to fill in a bit of that bar. Because that was the charged symbol, it gives me some extra wilds, and it fills up. So it's going to do it again. This one looks like it's going nowhere, and again. And that's probably not going to do anything either. So you see there, that was a 20p spin, and I got 2p back. So there was a few dead spins there. On that one, I got a tenth of my stake back. For a 20p spin, I got 2 pence back, and that would scale with whatever stake you were playing. So you can see there, these are going to drop down, and every time they make a reaction, as you can see, the symbols leave the board, and then everything above them. Now, we've filled up to the first reaction there. Now, this is the freezy one, so it's going to knock all of the low-paying symbols out. Watch it here, and then everything's going to drop down. And you'll see this, like so, and then what's left there, and that was a dead board after that. And eventually, what's going to happen is you get a feature. If you fill this up 4 times, you'll get 4 different reactions. See those 4 boxes there? You'll get 4 different reactions. And then if you can fill the bar up a 5th time, you will then go into the actual feature itself, where you get the big dice fusion symbol that comes in, big wilds. Let's see where that one's going to last. This is like the symbol match one. That's gone for 6s, so that's going to fill those in. Are we going to make it to the next one? We are now. We are going to make it to the next one. Can you see? It's filled in another one. Now we've got the swooshy one. You'll see this is like a diamond shape. It's going to swoop around, and it'll settle on the symbol and change all of those symbols. Where's that going to go? Might make it to the wild. It has made it to the wild, so that sort of sun symbol is a wild. That's going to fill up quite a bit now. See there, they're making lots and lots of clusters. So that's going to certainly fill in the next one, and it might do the one after that as well. See there, there's actually half a chance for a feature here. We've only got to fill that bar up one more time and we've got a feature. That would be handy. That if we can get, we have as well. That's quite fortunate. Can you see? We've now got the nuclear reaction in the middle. The nuclear core is spinning around. So now we've still got our 2 little bonuses on the way in. This is not a great setup. This bonus here is going to fuck the board. That's not a great board setup. There's not a lot of premium symbols on there, but we are going to get a feature. Now this is going to come in. I don't like this one going into a feature because it knocks out things. This is a pretty shit board state, to be honest. We haven't got many premium symbols on there. This won't be a great feature, I don't think. But we are going to get a feature. Now we get the big Gargantus. Oh, and it's going to eat those fucking... It's eating those 3 dice symbols. That's a bit annoying. That's not a great board, but here comes the bonus, and you'll see what it does when it comes in. That saves me going back to some of my videos to actually land the bonus in real time. That is quite handy. So here it comes, you'll see what it does, and this is consisted of 8 wilds, and then it'll make whatever wins it can. Where's that going? Oh, that's nothing amazing. We've got 4 quid off those 3 dice symbols there. We've got 2 quid off them. But you can see there that we're up to over a tenner. This is only from a 20p spin, remember. Now we get the next dice fusion reaction. You get 3 dice fusion swoop things. Now this next one's got 2 balls of 4. Generally speaking, the first one is the best one, because as you can see, they're split up now. So it makes it harder for these to do anything good, because they can, as they have done there, they can land apart from each other. They sometimes will land sort of together next to each other, so that you still get the effect of all 8 wilds. And now we will get the last one, which is 8 single wilds. This one, honestly, is usually a bit shit. This very, very rarely does anything of note. And you'll see why. It's because you get 8 little single wilds that bounce around all over the place. They can, if they want to, kind of cluster together to make something good. But it doesn't happen very often. What are they going to do? And they're not. They haven't done there. There's a half-decent board for them to work with there. So there you go, we saw it through to a bonus. I got £11.82 off that. Now, £11.82 doesn't sound that great, but remember that's only from a 20p spin. As a multiplication of stake, that is 59x. 59 20p's is basically £11.80 plus an extra 2p on the end. So if you scale that up to a £2 spin, because that would just scale in a linear fashion with stake, a £2 spin, 59x would be £118.20. So you've got to think about it in that regard. If I had done that spin on £2 instead of 20p, that win there would have been £118.20. I don't like doing £2 spins. That's too rich for my blood. Thank you very much. I'm happy down at 20p spins. Let's close that game. We did see a feature there. So basically, starting in November last year, you can see the date on that post, November 15th, 2024, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get one of these top wins. Now, one of the great things that they have at 3 Dice is this Zeitgeist page where you can see like real-term stats. These things update in real time as people get wins on the game. And you can have a look at like, so let's just pick any old game at random. It doesn't matter. Beetle Girl there, it will tell you, and it gives you an idea, of course, of what the top pays are on the game. So you can see there the best wins that has paid out in the last year, and also there more recently, I think that one goes back a couple of weeks. There's all kinds of stats there, live RTPs, game popularity, all that sort of thing. It's a nice little bit of transparency, actually. I mean, honestly, good luck getting this kind of information out of most fucking software providers or online casinos. It's a useful little resource, this, to find out, to give you an idea of what these games can play. Like Gemini, for example, ignore those two at the top because they were the site-wide progressive. Knock those out there. But you see there that Gemini has a hard cap of 3,240 times stake. That is the jackpot on that game. And it is one that I would like to win at some point. But the one that I set myself about doing was this one here. I got that screenshot from the Zeitgeist page and I said, right, you know what? We know that this is a ball out of the bag or a lottery style game. I am going to keep plugging away at this until I pull a 3000x ball out the bag. They're not all the same. There are multiple ways that it can do it. You can see there that all of those are slightly different. But the way that you do it, the way that you get 3000x, and if you work it out from the pay table, there's kind of only one way it could happen. If we have a look at the help file on here, it's going to be, can you see that symbol? Let's just scroll down. That symbol there, the 3 dice symbol, a 15 plus cluster of the 3 dice symbol pays 750x. So on a 20p spin, that's 150 quid. But there is a mechanism whereby it can double it or quadruple it, and that's the screenshot that 3 Dice used to illustrate it there. So if you look at that example screenshot, they have picked a nice juicy win for the example, but it does demonstrate how it works. What you've got there is a 15x cluster, but those 2 big 3 dice squares there, that's what happens when you have a block of 4. Can you see, in fact, it is the 4 dice there, the 4 spot dice. There's a cluster of 4 of them there. If they took part in a win, they would double that win. And what happens is, if you get 2 of those 4 clusters within a 15 plus cluster, it will multiply the win by 4. So that was how you would get 3000x, is you would basically get something that looks like that. Not that exact one, because there's loads of different balls in the bag to represent the sequence. You can see there that all of those wins that are over 3000x, those 2 there, the 2 3005s, may actually have been the exact same sequence. They may have been the same ball out of the bag. But you can see there that there are multiple ways that it can do the 3000x. But what you're looking at there, a 15 plus cluster with 2 doubling cubes, that would pay 3000 times stake. And on a 20p spin, 3,000 times stake is 600 quid. Not bad for a 20p spin. So that is the goal that I set myself. I said on Casino Meister, I am going to plug away at this motherfucker until I pull a 3000x ball out the back. Now, you can see there I've put quite a few screenshots in over the months as I've got them. There is a basic 15x cluster. Can you see how all those 3 dice symbols are joined together? And they pay 150 quid. Now, at one point... there's an example, by the way, of a 60 quid cluster with a doubling cube, which pays 60 plus 60. That was 120 quid for that one. Let me just find where I got one of the doubling clusters. On the way to that, by the way, can you see there? That's a 15 plus cluster on the next to top paying symbol, which is the purple one. That's with 2 doubling squares. So that's 60 plus 60 plus 60 plus 60. So it quadruples the win. That was a £240.90p win from a 20p spin. Not bad. And then finally, I got the 750x win, or the 150 quid, with a doubling cube. Can you see there? It's a 15 plus cluster on the 3 dice symbols. That was on the Gargantuan round, the Dice Fusion round, with a doubling 4 cluster in there. That paid £309.07 for the whole round. And remember, that again is from a 20p spin, but I was still after that 3000x jackpot. There's another one, by the way, that I got. That was £310.83. That was 150 quid times 2 because it had the doubling square in there. You get the idea. And just as recently as last month, Phil Darby there over at Casino Meister is asking, how many years will it take you to get the 3000x? Lol. Well, I actually have the answer. Now, I bandicam all my play. This is from about a week ago, but because I bandicam everything, I always catch anything of interest that happens. And just watch it, because this is, believe it or not, we're going into the mega win here. Let me just put that back a little bit. So here's a shit spin. You know how the game works because you just saw it. Now, watch this here. This now is the setup. It's now setting up a massive win. Just watch how it does it. That all drops down there. It makes that cluster there. Then it puts that reaction in. Now, this is all a pre-scripted sequence. There's nothing random about what you're seeing here. The pick to the back end was random. This is all just playing out a sequence. Now watch what it does here. It happens pretty quick. Just watch this. Because all of a sudden, this is going to go from 0 to hero. Did you see that? And can you see there? 900 quid. So let me just go back and show you that one again, because it kind of comes in out of nowhere. And I actually saw that happen in real time. It just so happened that I was looking at the screen when that happened. And I saw the setup. So let's see it again. It looks like absolutely nothing to start with. Hang on a minute. I'm at the wrong bit there. Sorry. Here we go. Right. So, let's just watch it here. You can't see what's coming at all. Really, at this point, you've got no idea that this is about to drop 900 quid into your lap. When I became aware that I thought, hang on a minute, this could actually do something here. It's still pretty nondescript. There's nothing really exciting at this point here. But believe it or not, that there is the setup. Now, the way it's done it here, can you see? We've got those top paying 3 dice symbols. The bonus that it's done here, can you see there, that little sort of square in the middle with 4 squares around the edge? That's the one where it picks one of the low paying symbols and then converts them all into another symbol. And what it's done there, it's set up the 4s to make 3 doubling cubes. And as this was happening in real time, I thought, hang on a minute. if that changes to 3 dice symbols, that could be okay. And I see there, it comes in. And can you see there what it's going to do? It's now identified every 4 on the board and cycles through all of the symbols and finds somewhere to land. And it did stop there. Now, and can you see the critical thing about this is what it's done is made 3 doubling cubes, not 2 doubling cubes, but 3. And that's going to multiply this win by 6. So out of nowhere, it's made a 15 plus cluster on the 3 dice symbols. That's 150 quid on a 20p spin. But the 3 cubes multiply that by 6. And that then creates that board state there from a 20p win is 900 quid. Bosh. And that's the only symbol, by the way, that would have done it, because if it had chosen the wilds instead, so there, if it would have done that, which it can do, it can choose the wilds. Now that there would have only been 150 quid, because the wilds would have joined everything together and they would have substituted for the 3 dice symbol. So that would have made a 15 plus cluster and it would have paid 750x. But the wilds don't make the cubes, like the 4 symbol cubes that do the double. So if it had finished there, it would have been nice. It would have been 750x, which is 150 quid. But because it went to the 3 dice symbol, it made 3 cubes at the same time. And that then pays the 900 quid. I saw that happen in real time. I thought it was going to be a big win, but I hadn't clocked that it was going to make 3 doubling cubes, because honestly, I didn't even think that win was on the pay table. That's the next thing, by the way. Now, the rest of the bonus, it didn't even get to the actual Gargantuan round at the end, and I'll just show you where this one then finished up. So you can see here, the rest of those 2 little bonuses played out there, and it peters out. It doesn't even get to the actual feature, but the win is already there, basically. And you can see that there. That is £901.97 from a 20p spin as a multiplication of stake. That is 4,510x. So to put that into perspective for you, if that would have been a £2 spin, that would have been just over £9,000, because that would scale with stake. But I'm not playing £2 online. I don't like playing £2 spins. I'm very, very happy to have won just over £900 from a 20p spin. And what that also did, if we go back to the Zeitgeist page, because the interesting thing there is... Now, again, ignore that one at the top, because that was the site-wide progressive. Ignore that 9348x at the top. Can you see there? That basically now gives me the high score. That there says the last year, but I have been keeping an eye on the Zeitgeist page for this slot since it was released just over 3 years ago, and I have never seen that one on the high score table before. If you remember how it looked... Here, that's from the screenshot at Casino Meister. Can you see? I've had this page checked on a fairly regular basis by myself, and I've never seen anything better than one of these 3,000 odd X results. So I am of the belief that nobody has ever pulled that 4,510x ball out of the bag before. I've never seen it on that high score table before. I didn't even know that it was capable of that win, but that is a really juicy win. 4,500x is a very, very solid win. Puts into perspective those machines in the pub, because if you think about it, when you're playing in the pub in the UK, your jackpot is effectively 100x. You're paying a £1 spin for a £100 jackpot. In the arcade, you can play £2 for a £500 jackpot, which is 250x. But here, you can get wins like that, 4,510x. One thing I will show you, by the way, is the RTP on this. The RTP isn't amazing. That there are higher RTP games at 3 dice than this, but it's reasonable. It's solid. See there, this game has an RTP of 95.2%, and you get that at any stake. That doesn't fuck you off. It doesn't matter if I'm playing 20p spins or £10 spins. I always get 95.2%. That linked video slots jackpot that they're talking about there it's a site-wide progressive, and every time you do a spin on any of the video slots at 3 dice, you have a very, very small chance of winning the site-wide progressive, which is currently sat at just over £19,000. It does go. I have seen people win that. It's running in the background all the time. It's not something that you can aim for. All that happens is people have shown screenshots of it in the chat and over at Casino Meister. But see there, it says this game is enrolled in the linked progressive jackpot. And what happens is, once in a while, it's usually once, every couple of months, something like that. Depends. Sometimes it goes because it's random. Sometimes it goes a couple of times in quick succession. Other times it'll sit there for months. But every time you start a game on any video slot, there is a very small chance that it will pop up and say jackpot, and you win the site-wide progressive. It has gone and people have won it. So there you go. That's where I am at with gambling. I've fucked off the pubs. I've fucked off, frankly, playing online anywhere apart from 3 dice. Cannot stress enough, this is not an advertisement or a shill for 3 dice. The best way to gamble, if you don't want to spend any money on gambling, if you don't want to lose any money gambling, then the best thing to do is not gamble at all. Because as much as I like it here at 3 dice, you know what? They have taken money off me over the years, because that's what's going to happen. You are going to lose money playing random games with a house edge, so you need to know what the deal is going into it. The thing here is, it feels like more of a balanced deal. That there is just that's a mugging, that's a hit and run, that's a piss take, that's just fucking daylight robbery. I'm done with it. I know what the deal is with gambling. I know that the idea is that the organisation that's providing the gambling facilities wants to take money off you. I get that. But I think that there has to be some kind of balance in there. And for me, this is on the right side of that equation. That is on the wrong side of that equation. And even video slots now, they just never send me any. If they just send me even not a great deposit bonus, it might encourage me to maybe chuck 100 quid in there or something, but it's just straight deposit after straight deposit, and without any bonuses to take away a little bit of the pain of a bad session. I've done away with video slots now. Like I say, I have not played at video slots for months, so that's where I'm at with it now. And that now, the other thing is full disclosure, because the other question that you might have here is that's fine, Degsy. Yeah, great. You got 4,500x, 900 quid from a 20p spin. How long did it take you to get that? How many spins did you have to do? Well, yes, I will tell you that, because after I got that win, I emailed 3 Dice Support, Anna at 3 Dice Support. This is the other thing, you actually get to learn the names of the people who work there. So it was Anna who answered my query. She's been there forever. Anna was there in 2012 when I first started playing at 3 Dice. She answered my query. I said, "Hi Anna, could you let me know how many spins have I done on Dice Fusion and what RTP have I got on it? And there is the answer. Lifetime on Dice Fusion, you have played, get ready for this, 579,514 game rounds. Played at an average bet of 20p with a lifetime RTP of 98%. Over the last 30 days, you have played 88,451 game rounds with an RTP of 106.6%. So lifetime, I have done just shy of 580,000 spins on Dice Fusion. Now, to give you an idea in time terms, Dice Fusion is quite a slow game to play. Do you see all those all the reactions and the drop downs? They're all part of a single game round. So it basically does about 500 game rounds an hour. So what that equates to in game time at 500 spins an hour average is 1,160 hours. I have had that game lumping away for nearly 580,000 spins over a total of 1,160 hours before I finally won 900 quid, pulled a £900 ball out of the bag, and I'm still down on it because my lifetime RTP is that number. Oh, I've just squiggled it out. My lifetime RTP is 98%. And if you actually work that out, if you do the numbers on that, that means that in total, I am down £2,300 on Dice Fusion. But you can definitely chop that into at least half because of the way the bonus structure works at 3 dice and because of the way I've used bonuses very efficiently to play this game. I reckon you can chop that number in half, but that still leaves you with a net loss of £1,150. Remember that is over 3 years, so that's a loss of £1,150 over 3 years. That works out to about £32 a month. So if you really want to bring it down to the numbers, it's taken me 3 years and 1 month, 580,000 spins, and an average of £32 loss per month to finally pull that £900 ball out of the bag. So what that means, in one way of looking at this is the end result is going to be the same. Playing a random game with a house edge, if the RTP is under 100%, however small your stake is, eventually you're going to lose all your money. The difference is how long it's going to take you to get there and what the ride is going to be like on the way. And it's obviously how quickly it's going to do it based on RTP. So I know what the deal is. I know I'm going to lose in the end. But for me, as someone who does enjoy a gamble, I am prepared to take the deal that's on offer here. I'm okay with this. Those numbers are something that I can get around in my head and I'm okay with it. Whereas I'm not okay with that. That £300 loss there, look at it this way. At an average of 32 quid a month on Dice Fusion, that £300 loss there in 24 minutes would last me for 9 months playing Dice Fusion at a loss of 32 quid a month, somewhere between 9 and 10 months. So that's how the sums look on that. So there you go, that's the update. I don't really have anything else for you at the moment. I'm aware it's been a few weeks now since I've done like a Fruit Machine emulation thing. Nothing sinister going on. Honestly, I've just kind of been doing other stuff. I've been really into my video games recently. Just in the last, maybe 3 months, I've played through Ghost of Yotai on PS5, Borderlands 4 on PC, Donkey Kong Bonanza on Switch 2. I bought myself Switch 2, kind of just to play Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World, which I've also played through. Mario Kart World, I've taken all that out to the Gold Cups in all of the different Grand Prix, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which I got on PC as well. So I've been playing through video games, been doing a lot of reading as well. I've got quite a decent pile of books upstairs in my recently read pile. There you go, they are my most recently read books. I'll tell you what, this is the last one I finished. I'd recommend any of them. That's the last one that I finished there. The Adrian Edmondson autobiography, Berserker. I was hoping it would be good. I like Adrian Edmondson because he's done a lot of stuff over the years. He's not just, Vivian from The Young Ones and Eddie Hitler out of Bottom. He's done a lot. He's got a lot of wide, broad range of work over many, many decades. And he's done a lot of very sort of dramatic roles, straight roles over the years as well. But it was better than I was expecting. That was a really, really good read. Adrian Edmondson's autobiography, Ben Elton's autobiography there, that's what I did recently as well. That was great. The Midnight Library, Christ, what else have we got in there? Him Off the Viz autobiography by one of the main guys who did Viz back in the day, that was superb. Animal House, about the guy who helped found Loaded magazine, that was a brilliant read. They're all great there, but I've been, now that, what it's like when it's winter, because it's dark in the, you set off to work and it's dark, you get home from work and it's dark. It's nice just to get cozy on the couch and read a book. So nothing sinister going on, but I've been reading books, I've been playing video games, watching stuff on the telly, just doing a little bit of other stuff. So that's why there hasn't been a Fruit Machine/Fruit Machine emulation video for a while. I do still have the list that I want to work through. I think there's about 14 things on there at the list, so my goal is, going into 2026, I want to try and stick with at least a video per calendar month. Since the new channel went online, the new Harry Headwound channel, I have never missed a calendar month. There's at least been one video per calendar month, and I do want to maintain that through 2026. So that will happen. I will get round to it. I've just been taking a little bit of a sabbatical from making videos just to do other stuff recently, but I do want to keep that sort of the uploads going through to 2026, get the videos made, get them uploaded, and I'll try and stick to one a month. But for now, that's kind of all I've got. The update there is I have stayed quit from the pub machines, and I'm glad that I have. I think that was the right decision. And I did get that very, very nice win on Dice Fusion, but I can't flannel you, I was still down on it in the end, albeit by an amount that I am comfortable with in myself. So I think that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Do hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will catch up with you next time. But for now it is goodbye. Right, I've done the edit and got the time codes done. It works okay. The noise of the game is a bit too much at one point. It is not how I would have chosen to do it, but it's watchable, I would say, so this is what I will go with. I'll get that uploaded today. It's the 20th of December as I record this, so there's not going to be another video this side of Christmas now. Probably not before the new year, to be honest, so it will be into 2026 for the next video on the channel. So with that said, I will wish you all a very happy Christmas and New Year. Hope you have a good time, and I'll catch up with you in 2026. Goodbye.